Hello, everyone. I wanted to comment on a few segments from the debate between Blair White and Jessica Yaniv.
I'm going to actually take a shot because I really feel too sober for this.
This first bit was just amusing because of how ludicrously feminine all of Blair's mannerisms are when she's taking a shot. Just watch.
I'm actually going to be drinking. Okay. Yeah. Which is probably not a good comment.
There we go.
Okay, so listen, Jessica, the laws are the laws in Canada, and I think there's a lot of people who have a lot of contention with those laws. I think what a lot of people are uncomfortable with is moving into this world in which women have to handle your male genitalia simply because you walk in and say that you're a woman.
And this is the bit that I actually wanted to focus on, is this debate over the right to refuse service, or as I prefer to frame it, as a forced association. Which I got that phrasing from Alternative Hypothesis, who's rebranded his channel People's Veto. And I think that it's really important to look at it that way. Now, Blair is kind of constraining her frame to just these trans issues, and it's a pretty easy argument to make. So I understand why she wouldn't want to take it further and make a larger argument about forced association. And also because I don't think that she necessarily agrees with my position, so she's kind of just stating it how she sees it. But what you see from Jessica Yaniv is that you can tell that her morality, as she presents it, is defined wholly by that which is legal. And I think that that's kind of at the heart of the problem. This NPC normie Pavlovian style of ethics and morality is one where ethics and morality are mashed together, so they are not distinct, and that which is legal is seen as that which is both ethical and moral. Now, I would maintain that ideally, morals are subjective and personal and non-binding on others. You go out and you do good things to help other people, but you're not really required to. Ethics is more objective and concerned with prohibiting things which are harmful or bad. And if we're going to have laws, then our laws should be focused exclusively on that which is ethical, and then leaving morality to basically people's free associations and free choices among each other. And I think that this kind of elegantly solves a lot of problems. And I do think that people, what they'll do is they will tend to always frame the issues in a way where, that which is legal is truly supposed to be that which is ethical. And you'll even see Jessica kind of accidentally make that case a little bit later on. But my point is that Blair comes very, very close to making the argument that we shouldn't have forced association at all. And she makes a lot of arguments based in just simple subjective morality that kind of make the case that we shouldn't have laws that require businesses to serve certain people. But she keeps it framed within the particular of trans issues, which is, I think, a much easier debate to win and more kind of immediately relevant to the concerns that she's drawing upon here. So I'm going to be focusing on the question of forced association, which is why, my take and treatment of this debate is going to be a little bit different from, I think, what most people would take away from it.
You were the same as me at one point.
Jessica, what you don't understand is there is freedom of association. There is freedom to deny services.
There isn't here, Blair. There isn't here.
We already know that the Canadian laws need reform. There's a problem if someone here's the problem. There is a problem if someone like you can try to get a woman to come to their house to wax them. Mm-hmm. And if they don't, suddenly all hell is raised. They're losing money. They're losing that's a problem. And I'm so glad that doesn't happen in the US. I'm so glad it's not like that here, because I will tell you what, I have lived as a trans woman for years. I have never been denied a single thing. The problem might just be you. Have you ever considered the problem is you and not trans people?
No.
Okay. Well, I'm here to tell you the problem is you and not trans people. I want to move on to
Blair,
I really want to move on.
Yeah, Blair, I want you to come over here.
No.
Say you're transgender. Blair, I want you to come over here, say you're transgender, why
would I ever do that? Why would I walk into anywhere and announce that I am transgendered? Why would that be something that benefits me in any way, shape, or form? That's strange. Is that what you do? You walk into these salons, say, hi, I'm trans, can you wax me?
So you're
Probably
admitting
shouldn't.
then, no, Blair,
What?
you're admitting then to the fact that if you announce you're trans, that you're going to get denied. You're going to be treated differently, and you're going to be denied.
Jessica, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. I have never in real life been treated any differently by really anyone based on the fact that I'm trans, because I'm a respectable person who doesn't violate people's boundaries, who doesn't send people inappropriate messages, who doesn't try to get businesses shut down. I'm a tax-paying trans woman who's just trying to live my life, and things are kind of okay. So for you to have all of these problems with 10 different salons and all these trials and tribunals, the problem is you.
So I would maintain that Blair is not correct when she says that things are not like that in the United States. Certainly, in regards to this particular iteration of forced association, the U.S. hasn't gotten there yet. But I think that all the pieces are in place for it to happen the same way, and that if this is something that really concerns us, we should be thinking about really changing the whole paradigm. Now, Blair goes on to list a whole bunch of kind of morally preferable ways of acting, and argues that these are the determining basis for whether or not a person will choose to associate with you. And I think that this is a perfectly reasonable model to go on. The problem is that when you see things as a matter of ethical law and of entitlement, you can't use a standard like that. It needs to be very black and white and clear cut and applied very equally. And that's why forced association ultimately fails. Because when you choose to associate with others, you're making kind of aesthetic and moral considerations, and you're allowed to to make those choices. At least you should be. So it doesn't translate well into a legal scenario. It simply needs to be left to the owner of that business to decide when they want to refuse service or offer service.
Blair, what I want to say here is on that form, it literally says that once it's signed, you have to abide and you have to present as the gender that you are on that form. You cannot tell me that.
And that's a problem. Canadian laws are messed up. They open the door for people like you to do harm to people. We've established that.
Blair, you cannot tell me. Blair, you can't tell me that after the first day of your transition that you did not look like you do right now. You cannot tell me that.
I've been very open about my journey. People have seen pictures. People have seen stages I've gone through.
Yeah.
No, I did not use the women's restroom until I walked down the street and everyone assumed I was naturally born female. I did not enter any kind of bathroom like that because that's the respectful thing to do. Most people—
But that's actually against the law.
Hold on. Most people, trans or not, let's even just remove the trans aspect from this. Most people who have their faculties in order and are of sound mind try to go through life like alleviating the pain of other people, like lessening the discomfort of those around them, or at the very least, choosing to try to not do harm. You do the opposite, and that makes you a predator. Do you understand that?
No.
Trans or not, most people go through life trying to not upset other people.
What I don't think you understand, Blair, is—
I understand, because you also said I don't understand trans politics. I do it for a living, but what don't I understand?
What you don't understand is trans politics when it involves Canadian law, and Pacific British Columbia law.
I've established that I disagree with the laws. I think Canada
but the law is the law here, Blair.
One kind of interesting thing is that Blair's, repeatedly stating throughout this debate that she disagrees with the law. And I think that everybody agrees that no set of laws is perfect, which means that the idea that you just point to the law and say that's it, the law is the law, well, that doesn't really make a lot of sense. And it's kind of funny that at no point does Jessica Yaniv realize that, could the law be wrong?
This is literally the form to change your gender. That's the form right there. It's all you have to do is basically say, hey, okay, I'm changing from male to female. And that's it.
That's it.
And that's a problem. I've established that.
Stop. That's the form right there.
Have you thought at all about the impact that you've had on these women, on these women's businesses, and how it's hurting them financially, and how they're getting attacked because of the drama, stress, and financial ruin that you put them through? Do you ever empathize with them, or
No.
think that was you
Because
don't?
they're not getting attacked. The person that's getting attacked is me. They're not getting attacked. You know how
You're not getting your balls waxed is an attack.
You know how I know they're not getting attacked? Basically they're saying, oh, they're getting really insulting phone calls. They're getting this. The reason is because they're not like retail businesses. The one retail business that I got shut down is already shut down. I already got them shut down.
Why are you proud of shutting down someone's business? That's sick.
Why? Because literally, if you go and you book an appointment, you say they go and they book you. They have no problem booking you for a male wax, and then you say that you're trans, and then they go and they refuse your service. That's the problem there. And you know that's a problem.
The fact that you are proud of shutting down a business and someone's ability to feed their children makes you sick.
Now, this is what I had actually alluded to earlier when I said that Jessica's going to accidentally make the case that violations of the law are actually unethical. And of course, when I say unethical, I mean like a violation of some sort of contract, like a contractual breach or an actual, a violation of the non-aggression principle. And in this case, now it's no longer about being trans, actually. It's about them agreeing to provide a service and agreeing to the terms of that service and then not seeing through with it. And this is actually a much stronger case that Yaniv could have been making the entire time. But instead, because they have this Pavlovian law-based style of ethics that completely defines also their morality, they don't see that. They just see it as, well, according to the law, as a protected class person who has been denied due to my status as a protected person. Therefore I win. Therefore I get the cash and prizes, right? And it's very, very crude and stupid. And Yaniv can see how insane it is when Blair puts it in the basic terms of you're shutting down people's businesses because you feel entitled to having your balls waxed. This is literally what's happening. This is literally what's empirically playing out as a consequence of following these laws. And Yaniv knows that this is ludicrous. Yaniv needs to therefore repackage it in a way that actually satisfies a reasonable manner of ethics.
The tribunal member, Ms. Cusino, has already stated that gender affirming care is important. What I'm trying to receive is gender affirming care. I'm going to be winning all these cases. There's no doubt.
You know what's sick? I'm sure you fucking will. I will.
Because they very simply discriminate. There is basically an equation for discrimination in the BC law. And I've met all those variables of discrimination. Everything's met. I'm part of a protected class. I'm transgender. The fact of the matter is that my gender identity was relevant in the refusal of service, and I got refused service.
It's just fascinating to see it play out, this contrast between a person arguing for personal responsibility and for moral standards and for ethical consistency, and then you have, to the right of her, this person who needs to rely on BS technicalities in order to abuse others and force their way. And I think that this really is the defining nature of the way that the civil rights movement has just savaged ethics and savaged our capacity for having moral and ethical societies.
Have you ever touched a young girl?
No.
Have you ever been intimate with someone under the age of 18?
No.
I don't believe you. I don't believe that someone who has messages and tweets and receipts going back a decade of inappropriate conduct online has never touched a young girl.
Never. Ever. Why would I, Claire?
Why would you send the messages?
I didn't send the messages.
You did.
Can you prove it?
Now, I'm no expert in this sort of thing. I'm not the body language ghost, but that looks like Duper's delight to me.
Yes, the evidence goes back a very long time. And they're not only screenshots, those tweets exist on Twitter that you can search up of young girls.
Show me the tweets from 2000.
I'm not going on Twitter right now. I'm not looking for everything. I have everything on my phone. I'll be happy to publish everything on my Instagram and Snapchat story afterwards. People are interested, or even the description on this video. But what I'm going to say is that you and I both know that you have at the very least been inappropriate with young girls online, and at worst actually made physical contact with them. And I genuinely hope you haven't.
Making what?
Physical contact. And I genuinely hope you haven't, because everything leads to that being something that you want to do.
You know what I'm going to say, Blair, is you're saying conduct has gone back since 2011.
Why are there girls tweeting in 2011?
No, wait.
Creepy.
Wait, if conduct has gotten back since 2011, we're now in 2019. I've never been arrested. I've never been in jail.
People get away with a lot. People get away with a lot. People do a lot of things behind closed doors. And I commend the brave young 15-year-old girl who was on, I think, the Post Millennial sharing her story of the inappropriate contact between you and her. I commend her. And I would have hoped, it's not a reality, unfortunately, but I would have hoped that someone in your family would make an effort to keep you away from young girls. But I'm hoping that, the videos I've done on you and now with you are enough to sort of advertise that to the point where people do stay away from you.
Why did they? When I've done absolutely nothing wrong.
I have not been charged with or convicted of any crimes. Therefore, I have done nothing wrong. These last couple of clips are just kind of funny and speak for themselves. So those are all the thoughts I have to add. And everybody, thanks for watching.
Again,
Blair,
what?
I don't need to be scared in my own house that I'm gonna get fucking attacked, which is illegal in Canada. Just saying. But
do you think that was cute? Why do you think you can menstruate? You can't menstruate. You have a dick and balls. You cannot menstruate.
I can.
No, you can't.
I can.
You can't.
I can, Blair.
You can't though. And you're lying. And you're lying. And why would you describe yourself as a guy who wears pads?
Because I didn't send that.
But you did. But you did. You sent it. And even if you didn't send that and you sent every other one or even one other one, it's a problem. So I want to get to the sort of impact that you and your media presence have on the trans community, because I was actually quite horrified when your story broke, because I saw a lot of people, whether it was on social media, whether they're commentators, YouTube videos.
But Claire, honestly,
hold on, let me finish, please.
Why would I have this if I didn't need to use it?
You just pull out a pad.
What?
You pulled out a pad.
Yeah. Why would I have them if I didn't need to use them?
Is this real life?
What?
This is real life, right?
This is real life.
I'm living, I'm breathing, I'm not asleep. Okay.
I'm not kidding.
Anyways, aside from that, congratulations, you have tampons. Aside from that, I really want to get back to the impact on the trans community, because I was quite horrified, as I said, when your story broke. The amount of people who are using your story and your incredibly effed up actions to paint the trans community. I saw a lot of people using your story to justify hating trans people or thinking they are predators and or pedophiles. That was a problem for me.
That is a problem for me too.
Which is why I made my video. So are you willing to say that you in no way represent the trans community, that the trans people are not predators, and that that's just you?
No.
You should say that.
What I am gonna say is, yes, I am trans, and I hate having to do this. Is literally I am on. Where is this? I am on medication.
Is that schizophrenia or what?
No. What is that third medication? I know you're on it too, Blair.
Estradiol, estrogen. Okay.
Exactly.
I'm actually happy that you're taking estrogen because that will remove your sex drive. And I think that would probably be the best thing for society and anyone and everyone around you.
You know, that's the form right there. It's all you have to do is basically say, hey, okay, I'm changing from male to female. And that's it.